mgbomber.com. When you go to my website, it says right up here, I go by the name Archangel Matthew now. What I want to talk to you guys about is how I always know when somebody is preaching the Bible wrong. When I read something, I know that this came from God, it came from Christianity, it came from a prophet. It's the real root beliefs of the universe. It's how the universe works. It's not what I would say is like a belief that somebody had. It's not something somebody's trying to instill into the masses. It's not some version of mind control. It's not some version of selling your beliefs. It's not some version of personalized preaching. Instead, it's God's take where he is infinitely wise and infinitely old, and he's giving you something. He's literally opening up his book of wisdom, and he's giving you pages, right? I want to talk about Christ consciousness. When I first got Christ consciousness, it was like God opened up his wallet, took real money out. Yeah, he might have threw me a few billion or a few trillion or more out of his wallet, but he has so much more than that. He aimed the stars at me. He changed the way that kinetic energy worked. He shot real order into my body, real energy into my body, lots and lots and lots of it. And I went from somebody that would read a book, I would read a chapter of a book in a day, and then I would close the book and not read it anymore. It would take me pretty much all my free time, like 4 hours, to read a chapter. I want to teach you that when you have Christ consciousness, all you understand, you have so much understanding that the universe is you can create anything. It's like being loose. It's like having a lucid dream, except you're in the universe. And instead of having superpowers where you can do anything like the lucid dream, instead, it's like you're always lucid dreaming inside your mind, and you're also, playing Earth, following the rules, and you're loving everybody by following the rules. What I mean by that is, I knew that you could read the Bible instantly. I knew that you could just select the Bible, select what does it mean to me, what. I don't say what does it mean to me and my personal beliefs. I say to me, send to me. That's what I meant, is what does the Bible mean? One thing. Send to me, meaning pull it to me, right? Now, I didn't have to pull it to me. I thought all of this at the same time. What is the Bible's meaning? And I knew all of the Bible's meaning. I knew it. I looked through it. I looked into it. It's not like I made it even. It wasn't even like it was really there. I'm like trying to make something up, and really there was nothing there. I just knew it. Because before I knew it, I selected, I can know it. I can know all the Bible's meaning. Hebrews 8:10 says, I will have the law, his law, written in their hearts and their mind, and they will be my people. Well, if I'm an Archangel Matthew, which I truly believe that I am, then I have the law in my heart and mind. When I argue with others, I'm not arguing to them like they, if I'm already arguing. They don't have the law in their mind. They don't have God's law in their mind. And sometimes they do even better than me. Matthew 5:44 says, thou shalt not curse the enemy. Basically, you should love the enemy. Now, in various parts of the Bible, it also says, do not pay the taxes of evil. It also says, it basically says don't help evil. You should not take Matthew 5:44 and go, hear evil, have the whole universe. God would never do that. He would roll over. He would not support that. And ignoring them is fine too, but loving them is fine as well. But both of these strategies are only listed so little in the Bible, where it does say you should look out for everybody else by at least taking chips out of evil. And the way that I help in the Holy War is I take away their beliefs. I take away evil's beliefs by sharing them root universe law, similar to energy and mass. If you shoot energy and mass at something, that something has more energy and mass. And basically, you can only sin for so long until you die. And it's very, very logical. It's very simple. There might be infinite mass and energy inside of you, but there also is perfect vacuum somewhere. Now, I'm not saying that you can select a three-dimensional piece of space and say that there is perfect vacuum there. You might be infinitely wrong, and you might only see that there's vacuum there. You technically can only select vacuum with a 5-dimensional canonized test, right? And then for the moments of time that which you witness perfect vacuum, there is perfect vacuum within the 5 dimensions of perfect vacuum of canonization, meaning you're measuring perfect vacuum. If you succeed to measure perfect vacuum, then within that measurement there is perfect vacuum. The end. You need to understand that. And one day, if you are a sinner, you could die to your own sin, because you are a 5th-dimensional being. Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, you're not a 4-dimensional being like you might think you are. You are a 5th-dimensional being. You use infinite micromatter in order to stay alive and exist. You use infinite micromatter to encrypt upon your enemies, your evil, your attackers. Anybody could just come up to you and cheap pulse your heart, and you'd instantly die if you were a 4th-dimensional being. The reason you live is because you're a 5th-dimensional being. When Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange happened, and Doctor Strange soul punched Spider-Man out of his body, he knocked his 5th-dimensional soul out of his vessel. That's what it is. You know, he knew that Spider-Man was more, and Doctor Strange had higher awareness. He used his life force to fight Spider-Man's life force. When a life force shoots into another life force, it can cut the life force in half if you're roughly equal. So Spider-Man would have to heal the tear within the chaos entanglements between his vessel and his soul now. Basically, Doctor Strange created a clone of Spider-Man and shot him out. This is a scientific thing. This could happen in real life. You could actually do this. Now, I'm rambling on and on and on, but I really just want you guys to understand what Christ consciousness is. I have the ability to read books instantly. I know the meaning of movies ahead of time. You know, and so do you. You know, like, you can just get Christ consciousness support. You can ask somebody who has it. You know, I had it, and I'm kind of slowly coming back to normal. Slowly coming back to what I was. But it took me that higher awareness in order to read everything that I needed to at the same time, to put the pieces. The theory of everything is what I call it. The theory of everything is why the president has to be 35 or older. We don't want a president that's under 35, because you don't have a theory of everything that's good enough to lead for us as a species. You just can't. You can't be smart enough. No matter how much you think that you can have higher clarity, it doesn't matter. You need the time to develop that higher clarity, because basically the gods need to find you to upgrade you into basically a star. Your brain needs to become a star or more. And I'm not talking even a star. I'm talking more than that even. I was able to read universes per second. Not per second. Faster than a second. In a frame. A frame was infinitely high. Trillions of frames, if not more, per second. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. OMG Bomber out.